it's a juxtaposition of having like the lyrics are quite sort of you know, reflective, sort of intense, maybe, you know, looking at better in yourself, or you know, like say quite dark at times. So I think it's like if you take the lyrics away from the music, you'd get it's probably a bit more melancholy, but I think you combine that with the uplifting thing, it gives it, that's what gives it, that's the aesthetic of the album really, is those two juxtapositions for me. And it just like, I've always leaned my hand at like, you know, sort of, instead of it being glam rocky, a bit more sort of Motowny and grooving, and a bit more sort of, you know, like upbeat in that way, not necessarily like heavy, like still so you could dance and stuff. And I've always wanted to make a record like that, to be honest, and it was just kind of natural.
Yeah. You had linked up with Sunglasses for Jaws. You worked with them at the studio, didn't you?
Yeah.
So what influence has that had on this album, and sort of how did that situation arise?
Yeah, it was just, I'd known, we'd had a mutual friend in common, Josh McClory, who was actually joining my band now, and like I just see them out and about now and again, or bump into them sort of thing, and they'd always be like, "I'll come down to the studio," and I'd always just sort of, I'd bat it off, to be honest. And then one day I was like, "Oh, you know what? These are quite persistent, and I've got not," and I had like a new song that I wanted to demo, so I went down there, and it just completely blew my mind. Like their playing and their sort of style is so sort of in vogue with what I like, and their tastes, if that makes sense. Like everything I was mentioning, they were sort of referencing old Motown tunes, or like this mad Turkish tune, or, you know, like their knowledge of music is so on point with what I like and stuff. So, and when we played together, it just felt amazing, you know. And their studio was in this little like warehouse, really like, you know, no frills at all, like not even a fucking kettle in there. Do you know what I mean? And like, but it felt great. You know what I mean? It was just, I enjoyed being in there. And it was a great record to make. I love making it.
Yeah, and you've obviously also collaborated with Corinne Bailey-Rae, which I thought was quite a left field collaboration. I wasn't expecting. So again, sort of, where did that come from? That link up?
Yeah, it's one of them, because we've known each other for a long time, and she did like all the harmonies on my first album, like over 10 years ago. Yeah. And then one night I'd had a few bevies, was in the house, and whatever, was like dancing around the kitchen, and one of their tunes came on, and I just texted her, being like, "I forgot how good that tune is, and hope you're well," whatever. And then we just sort of rekindled our friendship. We started sending each other demos. Sorry, drop my phone. Demos and tunes and all that, and I had nothing that's ever going to be good enough. And she's like, text me again the next day. She said, "I can't stop singing that tune and that." And I was like, you know, we should make it into a duet, because I kind of want a duet on this album, and a proper duet, not just like have a token singer on a chorus, you know, like have a, you know, a back and forth and a story in it, and it to mean something. And so that's what we did. And it was a nice little icing on the cake for the record. And I think the style of the record and her voice and song, I think it kind of it all fits together. Even though you probably wouldn't think that if you mentioned it, but it does.